test driving the 2018 Dodge Charger RT Daytona 392 on a one-day trip to Death Valley National Park. Our 436-mile road trip started at the landmark Outpost Inn, part of the Pilot Travel Center at the intersection of Interstate 15 and US 395 in Hesperia. Our journey took us north, entering the western side of the park, driving through the visitor centers at Stovepipe Wells, Furnace Creek, and Badwater, returning to Hesperia 11 hours later. Our first scheduled stop was 45 minutes north on US 395 at the intersection of California 58, Kramer Junction, Antiques, and Boron. I've made this trip to Death Valley more than 24 times starting in 1998. I snapped my first car spy shot of the 2002 BMW 7 Series back in 2000, which was widely syndicated worldwide in automotive magazines and websites by noted spy photographer Brenda Pretty. If you are a student at Petrolania, you will love all the porcelain signs displayed here. Although we won't have time today to check it out, inside the building is an impressive collection of military vehicles and several restored Porsches. If you look behind the big steel building, you'll find a replica of what appears to be a 1940s-era mobile gas station with a Dodge Brothers pickup truck under the canopy. This truck has a wonderful patina. Check out the forward-leaning Ram hood ornament, an icon that remains to this day for what has become the Ram brand. Looking to the right, equally impressive is this Flying A sign. Flying A was the brand name for the Tidewater Oil Company. In 1966, Phillips Petroleum bought out Tidewater's western interest, immediately renaming the station, while Getty took over its eastern interest. By 1970, the Flying A stations were all rebranded Getty. Here we've just pulled off of California 178, bypassing the town of Ridgecrest, taking Trona Road from US 395 to the Trona Pinnacles. The Trona Pinnacles, south of the town of Trona, have been used for location filming for a variety of movie features and TV shows that include Battlestar Galactica, Star Trek V: The Final Frontier, Lost in Space, and Planet of the Apes. At one time, this must have been the smallest Ford dealership in California, if not the entire United States, Van Dyke Motors. A little research on the web shows a photo of a 1956 Ford being delivered at the dealership. By the time of my first visit in 1998, the dealership had been closed for some time. Research hasn't turned up any information on when it ceased operation. The price of gas north of Trona and inside Death Valley National Park can be anywhere from 50 cents to $2 a gallon more than it is here, at $3.79. On every trip, I stop at the quick-serve convenience store to top off the tank. From here, we'll be able to drive to Barstow without having to refuel. Here's a handheld shot heading south from Badwater along Badwater Road, going to the southern boundary of the park in Shoshone. I think this particular stretch of road is one of the great undiscovered drivers' roads in all of California. Our next stop is Ballarat, a virtual ghost town founded in 1897 and by 1905 grew to about 500 residents. Now it has just one full-time resident, the caretaker of the general store. In its heyday in the early 20th century, when mining was the lifeblood of the region, the town had several saloons and a combination jail and morgue, remains of which is visible off to the right as you drive into town. The town appeared in the 1969 movie Easy Rider. The scene where Peter Fonda threw away his Rolex was filmed here. With construction going on at the main visitor center in Furnace Creek, we headed over to the Furnace Creek Golf Course. At 214 feet below sea level, it's the lowest course in the world. It was 124 degrees when we arrived, much too hot to play around, even if we had the time. But I did borrow a driver from the pro shop, teed it up, and as I almost always do, sliced it. In 2005, I produced a story for a German magazine playing 18 holes here and a second round the same day at Sierra Star, 4 hours away at Mammoth Lake. At 8,000 feet above sea level, it's the highest course in California. On that round, I came within 6 inches of a hole-in-one. Exiting Furnace Creek, I looked at the Uconnect screen and it indicated 127 degrees. That's hot. This is Badwater. At 266 feet below sea level, it is the lowest elevation in North America. The visitor area has changed a lot in the 20 years I've been coming here, and for the first time in all those visits, there was water bubbling through the surface. What you will see from the video looking behind the car is writing on the mountain that shows sea level, giving a perspective on just how low Badwater is. At the end of this section of tarmac, we reach the intersection of California 178, coming south out of Death Valley. It's the location where an SR-71 Blackbird biplane crashed on the night of December 18, 1969. After reading a book, Aircraft Wrecks in the Mountains and Deserts of California by Gary Pat Macha, I knew it was somewhere in the vicinity. Asking a clerk at the Chevron station in town, she said it was at this particular location. Just look for the telephone poles with no cables on them. It crashed on the night of the local school Christmas pageant, knocking out the power to the region. I found what I think is a piece of the aircraft. It has some rust perforation and doesn't have the distinctive gray color, so I suspect it's something from the SR-71's interior. I can only guess what it is. It's dinner time for us at the Crowbar Saloon and Cafe in Shoshone. I've raved about the prime rib at the Crowbar many times before. After a long hot day chasing prototypes, along with a cold beer, it's the perfect way to end the day. Here's the menu. The Crowbar serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I think it's the best prime rib anywhere between Santa Monica and Las Vegas. Here's a quick tour inside the Crowbar Saloon and Cafe. This is the end of the video. Thanks for coming along for the ride, and check out more details on the Charger in the presentation that followed. While purists might scoff at calling the Charger a muscle car, as it has 4 rather than 2 doors, this muscular and capable production sedan will show its taillights to any and all classic muscle cars. It does this while delivering a combined 24 miles per gallon in real-world driving conditions, with handling that a 1970 Charger can only dream of. There are few cars that can deliver our test vehicle's combination of performance, 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds with a top speed of over 170 miles per hour, and at the same time seat 5 people comfortably. With its as-tested price of just under $53,000, it represents an unparalleled value in a rear-wheel drive performance sedan, domestic or imported. The Dodge Charger has aged gracefully. And the Charger Hellcat version, capable of a top speed of 202 miles per hour, is just the car for roaming Germany's remaining sections of unrestricted Autobahn.